Welcome back here on a very busy Sunday game. It's Cork who have qualified for the Munster hurling semi-final against Limerick with a great win today over Tipperary. And I'm delighted to say we're joined now from Páirc Uí Chaoimh by manager Dennis Walsh. Where did you pull that one out of, Dennis? Well done.
I'm not too sure, Des, but I suppose we were motoring fairly well during the league, and I suppose the Galway game was just a bit of a hiccup, and I suppose we had a bit of momentum coming in today, and we got the performance out of the lads, and it was terrific, really.
Isaki is a big talking point here in the studio. Had you any concerns or worries about him going into the championship?
Well, I mean, I'm sure Isaki himself would be the first to admit that his hurling is slightly behind most of the other players at the minute, but he brings different things to the table, and he brought that today big time, and I mean, he kept at it right to the end, and I think he got his just reward, and I think all the talk tomorrow will be positive about him, and I'm delighted for him, really.
Yeah.
Dennis, was there much decision in your mind between Cusson and Isaki for full forward? It seemed to be between the two of them. Was there much in it in your mind?
Well, I suppose with Michael Cusson, really, we had him maybe ruled out a fortnight ago because of his hand, and then he kind of made a recovery, and genuinely we didn't think he'd be available to us a fortnight ago, and we had kind of moved on, and that was really, so that decision didn't come up for to be made, really.
It's a good problem to have, isn't it? I mean, it's a strong bench you have there now.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were able to introduce Michael there with 13 or 14 minutes to go on the wing when we were trying to kill off the game, and I mean, that's a great asset to have, and it's the first round, and I hope we'll be able to develop it as we go on.
The short puck outs, did you work on that for a long time?
There's no need for me to work on that, to be honest.
That's the
best work on that.
If you
Dennis, you must be really proud of all of the so-called older players. The half-back line, Tom Kinney at midfield, the half-forwards, the way they play today.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to going down into that dressing room and meeting the lads later on, and I mean, we could have easily come in 12 months ago and decided to move some of the lads on and that, but we gave them a chance, and at the start of the year, and they knew that they had to get their fitness right and their motivation, their performances, and I mean, what could you say after today? But the pressure is the next day out as well, and they'll have to do it again, and there's pressure on the bench, and fellas, there's 4 or 5 fellas very disappointed that weren't on today, and I'm sure they'll be champing it a bit to put more pressure on these lads, and that's so be it. It's great to have it that way.
We'll give a final word, Dennis, to Tomas. He's bursting to chat to you here.
Dennis, haven't played with you. I'll take it easy, Dennis. Yeah, haven't played with you for a number of years, Dennis. I mean, I would have played at the other end of the field. I mean, looking at the six backs today, the performance of the six backs, I mean, you must have been proud. I mean, as a defender yourself, I mean, certainly, I mean, as John mentioned, no score from play the second half from Tipperary, only 5 points in that second half period. But I mean, you could pick out any of that 6, but as a unit, they were absolutely brilliant.
Well, they were, and I mean, these guys are there before I ever came along, let's be honest about it, and I can't just take credit, but I suppose we did, we're trying to make sure that we kept the game tight, and I thought the midfield too was very tight in front of them, and they covered that area well, and that helped them, but I mean, I suppose it's hard to be picky out fellas, but I know like Owen Cadigan was picking balls out of the sky there in the second half, and I mean, it was terrific. We were taking the initiative, and that's what we set out to do really at coming into the game, take the initiative, and I think that's what we did today, particularly in defence.
And Dennis, sorry, there was no man more hurt, I suppose, over the last couple of weeks than Sean Hogue himself. He did readily admit after the league final he had a bad day at the office, and today he certainly showed that he's still a force.
Well, Muller, you know that man, and did you doubt him? I didn't doubt him, and I don't think anyone could doubt him after today. Fantastic.
Yeah. All right, we'll let you get to the dressing room, Dennis, and we'll continue to hype you up to ridiculous levels here in the studio. So well done, a great win for you today. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us, Dennis. Okay, Fáilte, go on. Now that was something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it just shows that Dennis Collin and Jimmy Ballymurphy and who else was with him when they picked Dennis? John Fenton. They did a really good job when they selected the new manager of the Cork team.
Once again, I emphasise it's the 29th of May or whatever, but I take your point fully.
Well, it is the 29th of May,
yeah. I mean, the boys are getting carried away.
No.
Right?
We shouldn't forget that if this game was on as the Munster final, this was the big Munster game of the year. Tip and Cork, with both sides with so much to lose. So it was an exceptional first round game. So it's no harm that it has the profile that it does have. But
sure,
of course, there's a long longer road ahead. There's 3 months before the All-Irelands. There's an awful long road ahead. We all realise that. But Cork's display today has really surprised everybody.
Jerry, you made a reference to one point there, Cork's movement in the game.
Yeah, their work rate.
Let's
their
have a look.
movement all over the field. You know, the way they work. Fellas that they were considered slow. Like look at the people that are passing him out here. The pressure they put on the Cork defence all during the game.
Yeah.
There's Cian Murphy the ball, pass inside. Now there's a midfielder, Cathal Naughton, all the way from midfield, all the way from he comes in. The support play was unbelievable. We saw Ben O'Connor coming down right to his own 21. We saw Jerry O'Connor coming back to the 21.
Yeah.
Like Cathal Naughton had a superb game.
Best
all over the
score of the game, Jerry.
Ben O'Connor scored, yes, a score of the game,
yeah. The combination that they play, like Ben O'Connor, what a player, what a servant to Cork, there since '99. How many has he tapped over from the sideline, from that sideline? How many times has he done it?
Dennis,
you know, look at the composure he has.
Dennis mentioned there, right, that they were all there when he came in, and he just said, we need to get back to where you are maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, levels of fitness. And he brought in a guy, Mark McManus, and I think that's key as well, having the guy that can get the guys that are the older guys to that level of fitness as well. And he just gave him a licence. I mean, you saw today, Naughton turn up anywhere in the field. Jerry O'Connor could turn up anywhere in the field. Ben O'Connor. And that was a licence to go and play whatever position you want.
From hurling as well and from football. He was always very calm on the pitch. A guy from a small club, say Catherine's, might have never got the big recognition of the other stars.
I would know, but I think it cost us in Ireland in '92. I will keep reminding him about that one.
Get over it.
Keep reminding him about that one.
20 years. Yeah. All right, then. Well, look, let's go back then and get more reaction from Páirc Uí Chaoimh, and we can rejoin Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Des. I'm joined by Donal O'Cusick. Donal, a wonderful performance, and if I may say so, a brilliant save. Must be a contender for Save of the Year.
Thanks, Marty. Delighted for the team and delighted for Cork hurling, and just delighted for the Cork hurling team of 2010. It was very important to us. Very important to us as men. Very important to us as hurling people, and very important to us as a team.
The analysis pre-match by all various experts were that this Cork team were very experienced but possibly gone the wrong side of the hill, and here were Tipperary coming with a very youthful team. What was it like in the build-up to this particular match within the camp itself?
Yeah, well, we felt that this game was very important to us, and if you like, that everything was on the line for a lot of guys, and that was the way we set it up, and just delighted that we could come through, and delighted with the victory. Having said that, it's still the first round of the Munster Championship. I'm sure Tipperary will have learned a lot from today's defeat, and they'll be a force to reckon with come the All-Ireland series.
I noticed that